Excuse me. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Strange. I am a cartoonist, novelist, and filmmaker. And I'm here today with my buddy, Mr. Dr. Ben. And we are going to live stream for you a little bit. We're going to do some drawing. Dr. Ben's going to work on some of his stuff. I'm going to work on some of my stuff. I'm going to, I've got my camera is like right, my camera pole right here. The camera's right up out of the shot. That's why there's a pole. That's why there's a big black line in front of my face. I'm going to do some work on Count Dracula, aka Dracula in Strangeville, my brand new Strangeville comic that hits my Patreon next month on October 1st. You can find that link below. To my Patreon, $2.99 a month gets you access to all of my comics, novels, and feature-length films. You can also become a member of the channel here. You can join button and become a member of the channel, and that gets you access to all of our videos that Dr. Ben and I have been working on for the last little while. And we've started a comics review show here, haven't we, Doctor?
Basically.
Let me kind of, because I kind of feel like this is I've done a couple live streams this week, and we've launched a couple videos. We kind of did like a soft launch. Reluctantly, I had to be dragged kicking and screaming. I turned my social media back on. I hate Facebook culture. I hate Instagram culture. I hate everything about social media. I think social media was a mistake. I think it's ruined people. It's ruined relationships. It's ruined families. It's ruined young people's minds. And it's the only way to get, eyeballs on your shit. So it's like a monkey's paw, Dr. Ben. Be careful what you wish for.
That's what you got. Yeah.
So I kind of feel like this is. I kind of feel like we're like this is the show where we're launching the show, where we're going to kind of on a live stream. We're going to kind of explain what the show is, what it's about, how it came about, and we're going to draw pictures while we do it. But
turn the camera back the other way.
Which way?
I can.
Oh no! You're good. I'm about to switch my camera back. I'm about to switch my camera down.
Oh my God! It took me so long to get it there. Oh,
I know you fucked it up. You already fucked it up. Grabbed it, already fucking moving it. So we've done live streams in the past, and I've had this channel for 20 years. And Dr. Ben and I have drawn together, and I've drawn with other people, and I've live streamed drawn just about every comic book I've done over the last 7 years. It's crazy to think that I've been doing comics for 7 years, because there's and I've ranted to Dr. Ben about this before. Indie comics indie comics doesn't have the kind of network that, say, small press horror fiction or like indie low budget horror films do. Like there's a million indie low budget horror film festivals that you can submit your film. You can like make short films, submit them to the festivals. You can travel around the country, go to the festivals, and sort of build buzz around yourself as a creator, and then like build to make your feature film, and then submit those films. Your short films and your features can be selected. They can win awards. You can sort of build this resume as a creator in indie horror film pretty easily and pretty cheaply. And there are a lot of horror anthologies that you can submit to as a fiction writer, as a novelist, and you can get your stuff in anthologies. Those anthologies get published. You sort of build your resume there, and then you could get through that buzz, you could get picked up and published by. There's a ton of, or there used to be anyway. Maybe there's not anymore. But there used to be a ton of small press publishers that would pick up your novels and stuff, and publish your short story collections and novels and whatever. And then there are a ton of and you can kind of piggyback on indie horror film by going to horror conventions and they screen stuff at horror conventions. As a novelist, I've done like live readings of my fiction at horror conventions and shit. And when it comes to comics, there's almost nothing there's almost nothing. There's the Eisner Awards. That's the professional.
Right.
That's for the pros. That's for your people like the top echelon of comics. But as far as there are like really low budget like indie anthologies you can be a part of, but
Right.
there's not a lot of like, and of course there's comic conventions and but what it is it's like, okay, I'm a comics creator, so I'm gonna go set up at a comic convention and I'm gonna sell prints of fucking Iron Man and
Yeah.
fucking Wonder Woman and Spider Man and whatever, and then I'm gonna maybe have my stuff on the table too, and I'm gonna try to eke out a living. The thing is those shows that you're doing, those comic shows, they don't have like they have what's called like a creator corner or whatever. They don't have like awards that they hand out for like best, whatever at those. You're just kind of like as a comics creator, you're just sort of by yourself. There's not really, and the community is just fucking psychos on the internet that are waiting to cancel you for whatever they can dig up on you. And you do not want to be like, if your entire sort of like ability to network and have a career is on social media on the internet, you're fucked. You are fucked. And that's the sort of position we're in as comics creators. And I don't even know where this rant was going, why I got on this, except to say
I
that,
mean, there are a couple smaller like awards and stuff. Like Space Con down in Columbus. Like that's been one of the indie conventions that's been around since like the 90s. Like Dave Sim's always down there. They always have like a yearly award for whatever. I think it might be just the stuff that's there, but they might also be like I really have no idea. I've never been down there. I'm not as much as I love Ohio, like I've never gotten down to like the museum down there or nothing, like the Cartoon Museum or the any of the conventions down there. Like that's a long drive. Gotta get a hotel room.
I think what I was getting at was it's now I remember where that rant was headed. Like,
Yeah.
I've been doing comics almost as long as I did novels and movies, and it just doesn't feel like I get anywhere as a cartoonist.
Right.
I sit here, and cartooning is a solitary, artistic, endeavor. So, I sit here and toil away, and I draw comic after comic after comic, and graphic novel after graphic novel, and that's great and fine. Like, I'm not complaining about the solitary artist aspect because I love that part of it. But then I put them out. I put out a crowdfunder. I make a little bit of money. I make just enough money to print and ship, and then I'm on to the next comic, and I'm on to the next comic. And there's just nothing. It doesn't ever feel big. It doesn't ever feel big and as big or as important as being part of those other communities. And again, you can fucking, social media can suck a fat dick. I don't give a shit about being a part of some fucking social media clique, because I was part of a social media clique with the small press horror, along with going to the shows and trying to get, I'm an award nominated. I'm actually an award winning short story. I've got an award for a short story I wrote in college, and then I also have nominations for novels. And but that online community fucking imploded in on itself and sucks and is full of fucking narcissistic psychos that just have this like pecking order hierarchy. And it's always been, believe me, the internet has always been that way. As far back as like message boards and like news groups, there was like a hierarchy of like the biggest, most fucking crazy narcissist at the top that like had everybody's docs and had everybody's dark secrets, and then everybody fucking sucked up to the fucking top echelon and tried to get into the fucking inner circle. The internet has always been that way, and it has always had it has always had those kinds of people. But it seems like comics is more dependent on that bullshit than any other artistic medium. That's my opinion.
I feel like comics is like the head. It's like the head of the river. It's like where it all starts. That's where culture kind of sort of begins, and it's either it goes along with it or it's a reaction against it. Like people being like, ugh, comics, reading, looking at that. No, I need to do something instead of that. You know what I mean? Like that seems like
Well,
like American culture is just so opposed to comics. They're just that was ingrained in us, and with the what's his face, the Frederick Wortham.
yeah, the Comics Code Authority and all that, trying to make people ashamed of comics. And it's been said a million times, like European comics, Japanese comics, they don't get treated with the same like redheaded stepchild fucking attitude of comics. And dude, we're 10 minutes in, and it seems like all I'm doing is crying about comics. I apologize. I don't know why I needed to go on that rant. The genesis of this new show on the channel, which I am so fucking jazzed to do. I was driving it was a beautiful day. I don't know how it is out there in Ohio, but in Strangeville, it was like fucking 70 degrees tonight. I had the windows in the hoopty ride down. I was fucking clanking down the street in the hood, trying, dodging crackheads and homeless people, trying not to run any of the detritus over in the hood down here. Just loving it. Thinking about all the I did my own. I'm saying this like anybody has already seen this. We filmed an episode of you. You went down to a comics warehouse and did some dollar bin digging, and you got 2 long boxes full of books, right?
Yeah.
Was it 200 a box or 200 total that you grabbed?
It was like too long. Well, we went to that warehouse. The warehouse in Pittsburgh or whatever, right outside of Pittsburgh, and then we went across back over to Ohio, or to Adams, and his was the warehouse. I think was like $150 for a long box, and then at Adams it was like $50 for a long box. So it was like $200 for 2 long boxes full of comics, basically. Like,
and how many comics do you think you got? Was it like 200 a box, or do you think?
Oh no, I had like the one box was like a new box, so it's a little bit bigger, and you can kind of like stack them in the sides on that one. So I got like 400 in that box, and the other one we got about like 350.
So you got like 750 comics together. That's insane. We got a comment here. Eat the Pope says, "Love you, Kevin. I agree. No one wants to read comics anymore except manga. LOL." Which is, I mean, I love manga too. Like I have a bunch of manga. But
I think it's
honestly, I don't see the difference because I also collect European comics. I collect, Metal Hurlant. I collect, whatever.
Tintin
stuff from France, stuff from Italy, and I collect a ton of Japanese stuff too. I just like cool stories. Whatever is the cool story, I'll end up giving it a shot. And it drives me crazy that because it's true that like young people are probably reading more comics than American kids have in a long time, but they only want to read manga. And it's like, what's the difference? Because the American zeitgeist, the only American comics that exist are superhero comics, and and that's all. The whole like we just had a decade of like superhero movies being the most popular movies in the world, but nobody read it, but it never translated into people reading the comic books, which is bizarre. America has an animation problem, a cartooning problem. America has a comics problem. When it comes to art, like America is just trash. As far as there being like a large group of people that are like interested in the
even like the non-superhero comics are generally like, I mean, there's some that are good, like I'm not, but like there's a lot of them just kind of feel like just like the same, you know what I mean? Like a lot of them are just kind of like there's a lot of like crime comics now, and a lot of sort of like urban sort of like relationship comics, and like just kind of, I don't know, there's just a lot, but it all has like just sort of like a corporate feel, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like some people liked the Criminal series, or like, with Hellboy, right? Like they'll come out with like how many different companies have stuff that isn't necessarily like a ripoff of Hellboy, but is like, that same kind of supernatural and kind of smart assy. Like that's that's basically like all the, what is it? Is that like young YA, like all those like Supernatural and Twilight and all, like they got all those different like like vampire shows, and there's a whole bunch of just this kind of genre of like sort of mushy stuff, and it's like sometimes it has kind of like that CW channel like action where it's it's not quite like a movie, like it's just kind of but there's a whole, you know what I mean, like there's just this whole genre of stuff where it's like that kind of just generic supernatural thrillers and vampires, and it's just kind of I don't know. It's that's what I'm saying. It's just a lot of it to me just seems like they get to be kind of like I said, like by the numbers or like corporate whatchamacallit, corporate slop.
That being said, Dr. Ben, you grabbed a shitload of comics. I did my own digging yesterday, and I grabbed 60 books, which isn't 700, but I grabbed 60 books out of my local comic shop's dollar bin. Got a fat discount on them. You buy 60 of them, they only cost 40 cents. So that was cool.
Nice.
But I was driving the hoopty around tonight and thinking about all the cool stuff I grabbed out of there. And we're going to do a dollar bin digger episode on my stuff. We did an episode on some of it, out of 700, we probably looked at fucking 10 of the books that
I know.
you grabbed out of there. But there'll be plenty of more digger episodes where we just kind of show off weird stuff that maybe doesn't necessarily warrant an episode of its own, like a highlight of its own, but we can kind of show and especially just like as a show and tell, just show off the stuff we get from the dollar bins without even necessarily having to crack into a bunch of them.
Right.
Just kind of showing what we get, and then over time we will do highlight episodes. Because I was grabbing yesterday and I don't know about you when you were grabbing, but I was grabbing with a focus on these can be individual episodes of the show. Like I grabbed that. I took a girl with me to the comic shop, and she was helping me dig, and I basically what do you call it? The kind of advice I gave her was I like cool monsters on the cover and black and white interiors. Like anything you find that's like monstery or has black and white interiors, like grab it out and set it aside and show it to me. And she grabbed out Violator versus Badrock, the Alan Moore Violator versus Badrock. She grabbed numbers 1 and 3 out of there, and I was like, "Holy shit, you got number 1!" Because you know how dollar bin digging goes. You'll have a whole run of shit except number 1,
except the first issue,
except for fucking number 1. So anytime, and I really want to do an episode, and you might not be interested in this, but one of my favorites growing up was Super Patriot, and from Image, and I have issue 2 here, but I didn't have the first one, and so that was in my bin. It's like, how many number 2s do I have that I don't have the first one? And she found number 1, number 3, and number 4. So I was able to get 1, 2, 3, and 4, so I can do like a whole series on the Super Patriot comic, and that's scripted by Eric Larson. He was doing so when Eric first launched Savage Dragon, he was also scripting Freak Force and Super Patriot, and there was a bunch of crossovers because I think Super Patriot is in Freak Force, and then got his own solo series. And Eric Larson wrote all that.
I think. Hold on just a second. I got.
The FBI is at Dr. Ben's door.
There. I'm going to relay first why I have these is because I was disappointed finding this Heart of Darkness comic. Right, it has this Dan Barrington cover, which is just like insane. You know what I mean? It looks like it's like chalk or something. Like his stuff is just so crazy. And then like Mike Smiller pencils and co-writer. This is from like, was it 90? What year does it say? I don't even think it says the year. Maybe to 94 because it says dedicated to Jack Kirby. Why everything is like in this Gothic script or whatever they call that? Like that's like Gothic script, isn't it? Like the
Yeah, I guess. I like Mike. I don't buy any of his comics, but I know the comics game doesn't like him, and I don't think he's ever done anything other than make a bunch of comics. Comics Gate tends to not like people that make a lot of comics. So be careful how many comics you make, Dr. Ben, because you might get
right. Yeah, no, I try not to make too many, definitely. So and I mean, there's nothing like looking through it, like it's nothing great, like I don't see anything like wrong with it. I'm not like, oh, this is obviously horrible artwork or whatever. Like the priest, you got a cross, and you drew the cross, right? That's how can you complain about this guy? I don't, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see anything like necessarily, and this is like 94 or 95 artwork too. Oh, that's
go back.
Yeah, what's that? That's pretty crazy. That's a good shot.
Is he upside down on a building? Yeah, he is.
Wow. Yeah, he's up on the wall.
Yeah.
Chains and spikes. Holy.
Yeah.
Fuck. What? I can't believe this shit. I gotta get a grip. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's kind of cool. That's a good shot. Like that's a cool perspective, definitely. Oh yeah, because that's the church. Because those are the pews.
Yeah.
Some sort of sacrilegious horror slasher. It looks like it's exciting. Issue number 1. So, anyways, the reason I have that, I guess, maybe you are right. This is Freak Force number 3, and that looks like,
yeah, that's Super Patriot.
He's doing the inks in this. That Mike Miller, Victor Bridges is the pencils. Keith Giffen.
Is it Mike S. Miller? Is it the same Mike Miller?
I would imagine so. Why wouldn't it be?
Makes me like him even more. Well, I mean, that's not necessarily an uncommon name, Mike Miller, but it makes me like him even more if he inked. Freak Force is cool, dude. I have because that it's interesting. Go back to that because you got Eric Larson, who's on one extremely far left fuckhead side of politics, right, and then you got Mike Miller, who's on the extreme other side of fuckhead politics. And back in the 90s, and I say this all the time, I've said this on several of our streams that we did together, like back in the 90s, you could work together when you had polarizing political or social views. Today, it's like, and again, it's because of fucking gay-ass social media. That social media has divided, like Mike Miller and Eric Larson would fucking set each other on fire before they did any artistic collaborations. But look, Freak Force, awesome book. Have you ever read Freak Force? Freak Force is great.
No. I think this is the first issue I've gotten of Freak Force.
I got a bunch of them. We're going to go through them on the show. We're going to do like an Eric Larson Appreciation Month.
I like that I have like this whole big area in my camera though. Like somehow I got the camera right finally. But I don't. Is this guy like a weeble? Like a weeble wobble or whatever?
Freak Force is weird. It's got all kinds of weird shit in it. But that's Super Patriot right there. What is he flipping him off?
Oh, he's doing
no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
That's exactly what he's doing. I'll try very hard in the future to take other people's feelings into consideration. It was rather greedy, I admit, to take all that money and threaten all those people. It was a very bad thing to do. Very wrong. I do most humbly apologize for myself and my friends. It was very thoughtless of us. Please don't kill me. What? But what? Why is he saying don't? What the fuck?
It looks like a Weeble.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That guy is just that doesn't inspire me with. That's. I remember there was something about like, wasn't it like this other guy, this Captain Victory or whatever, the Cape guy? Wasn't it like in the Savage Dragon comic, like it was like he showed up and died or something? Like when it was like when we first meet him in the comic, he's like all old and beaten, and he's like,
Right.
and passes his power on to like the new. Maybe this is the new.
Yeah.
I guess that is Super Patriot in Freak Force, though, definitely. These other ones, that big red guy, I don't know what he's called. Barbaric. Hey, Soups, smile for the cameras. Knock it off, Barbaric. People were hurt here. This isn't a circus. Act your age for once. This is so goofy. Yeah, I mean, I definitely can see like why I didn't get this as a kid. Like as a teen, I would have been looking at this and been like, no.
Oh, I love it. Anything with monsters. You're gonna call it Freak Force and have monsters in it? I'm in.
This cape. No, this guy alone in his goofy ass cape in like the 90s. No. Maybe the Super Patriot, but that seemed kind of doofy. Like
Super Patriot. Yes. Super Patriot just goes hard fighting monsters and robots. We'll cover it. We'll cover all this. In their own videos. You can.
I was gonna say like patriotic heroes are doofy, but like I was like I loved like Captain America, so maybe.
No, it's cool. You can shit all over Freak Force when we do some Freak Force videos.
And look, he got. Doesn't that mean his hat's wrong, his fin or whatever?
Probably.
Is that right? I don't think that's. Because that's what they make the big deal of, that it's supposed to be like more like coming out the front of it, right?
I never notice. I don't nitpick the fin. I'm not a fin nitpicker person.
No, that's what I'm saying though, is that's what like with what's his face with Eric Larson and all of them, they're all like it's in the right kind of area, but it needs to come forward a little bit too. Is what I'm saying. It should be. It's hard to see how. I don't know.
If Savage Dragon is in a comic book and you are focused on how far back his fin goes, they have not done their job. They have not done their job. Their job is not to draw a fin a particular way. Their job is to make an exciting Savage Dragon panel.
Oh, I don't know. Well, here's another question. Have you ever heard of this? Because like people were telling me this.
You get Pete the Pope was talking about Hellboy being his favorite comic. Mike Mignola, who's considered like your favorite comic books artist, favorite comic book artist, has never fucking drawn Hellboy the same way twice. He fucking mangles that dude's head and body shape every time he puts pencil down. So I don't know what the big deal about Savage Dragon's fin is. I get it. Everybody nitpicks it. I just don't know why.
There's two of them? What? That's so weird. It's an odd, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, as a kid, I would have looked at this and been like, no. I'd be like, I've got the Max and I've got Pitt and Doom Patrol. You know, that would have been the other thing I would have been Doom Patrol then. I would have been like, this is a pale comparison.
So look at them forearms. I've been doing these forearm kettlebell workouts and trying to get to the size of Supreme there, but I'm a little.
Yeah, that's definitely what you want.
I don't quite have the mass there of Supreme.
These are Giffen over here.
Didn't Valiant release Supreme? Why is that Image?
No, Supreme was Rob Liefeld.
I thought he was a Valiant character. Who am I thinking of? Who's the
Solar?
No.
Yeah, I don't. In Valiant, I'm trying to think of what other somebody in Valiant that had like a cape. But
Prime. I'm thinking of Prime.
Oh, that was
That wasn't. Was it? No, that was Malibu.
Malibu. Yeah. See, that was another one. As a kid, I saw that and I was just like, no. But because I mean, like, look at this. You got Pitt right there. Pitt, just that image alone of Pitt to this goofy looking. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just have this one image of Pitt. You know what I mean? As a kid, I would have been like, I'll just take this.
You know this is being recorded, right? Like this is being live streamed. So be careful. Be careful where your loyalties lie, there, buddy, because sooner or later, Pitt won't be in the Gay Frog's good graces anymore, and then we might have to scrub this episode.
Well, I would. That's where I would draw the line too. I'd be like, well, if Dale is cut out, then
Keown gets kicked out of Comicsgate. Dr. Ben's going to sing a whole different tune here.
I'm moving to Canada, moving up there.
Playing a whole different fiddle. Like, well, actually, Pitt's kind of, a Hulk ripoff. If you're
okay, compare for real though. Compare Pitt to Vanguard. This goofy looking thing. That's not even like a.
Well, I don't know why we're comparing them. First of all, because it's just I think it's awesome we have them all. Those early image days, I ate all of it up. Like, give me all of it. Like, they don't have to look at that thing.
He looks cool. That's what Berserk or something, or Berserker. Right, that's the thing. Like that was Gary Carlson.
Did he stab the fucking the black guy in the bottom two panels of the left page? Did he stab the black guy in the forehead and then he on the top panel of the second page he stumbles into that dude? Did he do that? Did he force his protuberance through that other man's head? Is that what I'm looking at here?
Something happened to. I don't think it went through his head. But it was like maybe they were in there together, because this is like a little like a little rocket ship or something, rocket landing sphere or whatever. It opens. This guy's there, and they're like, on behalf of myself and the president, like to welcome you back home. And then this guy's in there too. So I don't know if this guy's dead. I don't know. I might have bought this as a kid because it's this Angel Medina drawing it. Angel Medina was definitely my favorite. Like
More Mike Miller on the inks there.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the reason I put them all together, was to keep all of it quarantined, keep all the stuff with Miller in it, keep it all contaminating. But this looks like fun stuff, like this guy with the mohawk hat, like.
Oh, I thought it was like a unicorn horn. I see. It was like a perspective shot.
Yeah.
Like straight on. It's like a big fucking metal mohawk. That's cool. I'm not hating it. Anything with monsters, especially when I was a kid. Look at that. I don't care how goofy Vanguard's fucking little doilies on the top of his head are.
Doilies.
His dual mini penises that come out of his forehead.
Okay, you and your buddy show up. Okay, who do you want to be? I'm gonna be Spawn. I'm gonna be Shadowhawk.
I'm not saying that I had to be everybody to read it. Like I'm not saying he doesn't look goofy either. He does look goofy. I just like all the monsters fighting. I like the beat 'em up comics. All those. Look at the striations on his pectoral muscles there.
Yeah,
coming all the way down. It's kind of wonky though, like the way he's kind of crooked. It's kind of cocked crooked. I don't think abs can be perpendicular to
that way.
to pecs. I don't think the body bends that way, but it's cool. I mean, look at the size. Look at the size of the biceps on that fucking guy.
Like goes up and then like there's
Yeah,
these
it's
ones like
almost
over
perpendicular.
there.
It's almost perpendicular to the fucking pectoral muscle. But that's all. You know, I don't mind. It's fine. I fucking draw like shit too. I don't. I'm not. You know, it's Savage Dragon's fin is a quarter of an inch too fucking shallow. I don't know. One of the main things I love about Image is that they gave no fuck about anatomy, about the way guns and ships and cars were supposed to look. They just drew monsters fighting each other.
You know what he does actually kind of remind me of is that Death's Head character from Marvel. It's like Marvel UK, and he's called like Death's Head.
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of that. But yeah, I mean, like compare that. You can only get one of them. You only got enough money. You got $2. You got $2.25 in your pocket. You can get.
Well, Pitt never came out, so you'd be buying Vanguard on the right because it was on the newsstand, and Pitt number 4 came out.
These are what they got.
Pitt number 4 came out 3 years later. You're 17 by the time Pitt number 4 came. You started reading Pitt number 1 when you were 12. You're 17 by the time Pitt number 4 comes out. So let's be fair. Let's be fair.
This says 94.
Sure, it does. I'm sure that's when it was. I'm sure that's when the typesetting was finished.
They just sat on it. Well, this says 94 too. So this literally, they're both supposed to be in April of 1994. So imagine, let's say that they did ship on time. I think they did. I'm gonna go with that. You got $2 in your pocket.
Which one is going to be a future comic skater?
You can only buy one of them.
That's how my decision is based on who will in 20 years in the future, who will be in comic skate.
Well, Pitt's mainly just him, and well, he's got his letterer. I think they've got the same letterer actually. Chris Eliopoulos.
Yeah. It was a small operation. There weren't a lot of dudes in Image. They farmed out work to a lot. What the anecdotes Rob Liefeld used to say was he would like look at who was working with these guys and who was a badass, and he'd snipe them and pay them more. He just offer them more money and snipe all the talent from the other Image guys.
Huh. Well, yeah, because this is what they've had the same letterer and they have the same color separations and film output.
One of them would go on to become one of the biggest comic book Karens on Twitter. The other would go on to never release the Pitt omnibus that he was supposed to put out 2 years ago.
I see people get with the posters. They've got the posters are shit.
Well, shit. Fucking sign me up. Poster.
Gotta wait for quality, man. He doesn't have to make Pitt stuff. He could just stay up there in Canada and
hang out with gay frogs.
Right, hang out with gay frogs. See, with Pitt too, like the thing with him is like his kid like looks like a little kid. This one, I think he's supposed to be stiff there, is maybe why he is like.
I don't know. I think all the Image guys draw kids really creepy. That's not any better than Todd McFarlane. It's awesome.
That is the freaking.
No denying that Dale can draw. He doesn't draw fast, but he draws. When he decides to do some work, it's great. I'm a big fan of Pitt. We're gonna do a lot of Pitt episodes of the
little fat kid there.
That's a good drawing. None of these guys draw anything really very good except for monsters.
He draws. That's what I'm saying though. He draws good. Like, have
Not a
you
single
got any
not a
issues?
single background. There hasn't been a single background in the entire book.
There's trees.
There's trees.
Trees. More trees. It's an action comic. Look, there's a window broken.
Hey, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying Image isn't known for its cars or its guns or its backgrounds or it's even like all the like, especially when it comes to like women in normal clothes. They put the weirdest clothes on. It's good. I like it. I like the way he does the chains around Pitt's wrists.
Yeah. Mm.
Kid looks good there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all of his things there, that looks like a kid. This one, that almost looks like was it Kitaro? Is that what it's called? There's like a little there's a manga about a little kid that's like a ghost with one eye or something, and it almost looks like that could be like a shout out to that almost.
Dale, it's Todd. Where's the new issue of Pitt? We've been waiting. The pre-orders, we've got 500,000 pre-orders. Where's the new Pitt? I've got everything done but the background. Screw the backgrounds, Dale. Don't worry about it. Send it off to the colorist. Well, but I haven't drawn the background. Don't worry about the backgrounds. We're going to get the new issue of Pitt out. It's been 4 years.
That's a house. That's the background. There's a house.
A little bit of a house.
This guy. Look at Pitt there. Like that is just damn.
I'm gonna put some grass in and then scratch some nonsense, and then the colorist will figure the rest out.
That's right. Damn.
Yeah, anybody that's any cartoonist that's aspiring cartoonist that's watching this right now, and all your internet buddies that want to fucking tell you that your fucking your Savage Dragon fin is a quarter of an inch too far back, or that you don't do enough backgrounds, just draw your comics, dude. Like when we were reading these Pit comics when we were kids, we didn't give a shit that there were no backgrounds.
That is such a badass picture. Just holding that head. I think not.
I'm gonna play this particular episode when Dale Keown gets kicked out of Comics Game, and you say that he was nothing but a Hulk ripoff artist.
He's never. All he ever did was just rip off fucking Jeff Purvis. That's all. He's just a fucking Jeff Purvis ripoff.
Listen, we're 42 minutes into this, and we somehow got off on Pit Comics, and
it's easy to get. Anytime I start thinking about
Super Patriot and Eric Larson and Mike S. Miller and Comics Gate. Listen, I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about our show, our comics review show that we've done banked almost a dozen episodes of this thing. We've already got shows scheduled every Monday, Wednesday, Friday through the rest of September. And at this point, like after I just grabbed 60 comics and you just grabbed 700 comics, I'm pretty confident we can start making this at least every weekday, if not a daily comics review channel. And I just don't think we're going to run out of content. I think we're going to be just fine. We can really crank out videos every single day. But let's talk about why we're here in the first place. Like, why are you and me doing a comics review show instead of just drawing comics like we've done in the past? And that really comes down, for me anyway. It comes down because I think you were doing like little review stuff before Ed died, but I really didn't. I didn't do like comics review stuff. I just stuck to live streaming my own comics. But after Ed Piskor got bullied to death by comics social media and took his own life, the ending of like the abrupt ending of cartoonist kayfabe left a kind of vacuum in the comics review community or whatever you want to call it. And I say this in several of my reviews and several of the live streams I've done this week. Like nobody's going to replace Ed Piskor. Ed Piskor is without a doubt this generation's like premier comics historian, and absolutely taken from us far too soon. And Dr. Ben and I were actually in contact that entire week.
Yeah.
Ed took his life. Dr. Ben was sharing with me the allegations and things that were coming out, and the gossip that was going on surrounding Ed Piskor's death, and then the cry bullies like Evan Dorkin and who are the other culprits? Ramon Villabos and
Who was there was someone else. Oh, the lady that the crazy lady or whatever. The one who was saying she was mad because like people were saying like were like sad when he died. She was like,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Alex DeCampi? Is that
Alex
what her?
DeCampi, and then who were the two girls that accused him of fucking like having the audacity to talk to them?
Molly.
The two Mollys, Molly Dwyer and Molly something else. They don't matter. They don't even because they're nobodies, and they were nobodies before Ed died, and now they're nobodies. Now that the sort of shock has worn off, they're nobodies again. And Dr. Ben and I were talking the whole week that that these allegations were coming out, and I'll switch over here too. Get to work on. I'm working on the final pages of my new book, Count Kefula, aka Dracula in Strangeville, and I've got everything almost finished. I've only got a few pages. I've got like 6 pages left just to do finishes on, which is like working on the backgrounds and shading and coloring, doing all my color finishes. Everything else is done. The all the word, like I don't have the word balloon layer on right now. Here, I'll turn it on. But I've got all the lettering done, all the color flatting, inking, all done on the whole book. And I'm just going through. I do everything in processes. I do the layouts and breakdowns. Then I do the pencils. Then I do the inks. Then I do the letters. Then I do color flatting, and then I do this final phase of finishes. So let's get to work here. So me and Dr. Ben were in contact that whole week, and then it came as like a huge shock and blow the day that Ed took his life. And I did. So the last time you guys saw me here on this YouTube channel was when me and Hart Fisher did the live stream of the night that Ed died. We did like 4.5 hours. Lots of drinks were consumed, tears were shed, and that video ended up garnering 11,000 views here on YouTube, which is one of my most viewed videos that I've done on the channel. And then I kind of pieced out and disappeared, and I stopped working on my comics. And as Dr. Ben can attest, I took it really hard, and I still, to a degree, I'm still taking it hard because I still say, "Fuck those motherfuckers," and it bothers me. Like everything about Ed's bullying and death just bothers the shit out of me. And at some point, me and Dr. Ben, and maybe you can elaborate more on this. I don't really remember. Me and Dr. Ben started talking about, well, somebody's got to step in here. If there's not going to be any more cartoonist kayfabe, there's
Well, we've been talking about doing something like that before all that happened. Like, I remember, like you were like you wanted to talk about like stuff that they didn't cover, and I was like, okay,
that's right. We were gonna do like more mature kind of comics, like covering like the undergrounds and stuff, and we'll do it behind the Patreon paywall, where we wouldn't get yeeted by YouTube.
Oh, right.
And then that kind of evolved into like, well, let's just do, now that there's no more cartoonist kayfabe, let's just do a comics review show, because that space is just, there's a huge vacuum in it. And there's some people, like, there are people that have stepped up and are doing comics review shows now that weren't doing them before. But I think that Dr. Ben and I have unique voices as creators, and I think we can bring a pretty unique perspective to the comics review space.
Well, I think that's it. It speaks real to me to really the real kind of genius of Ed and Jim, right? Like they really kind of captured like how to just like review comics and talk about them on YouTube in like the most like accessible way, right? Like they really caught on to that, and they had such a variety, like, I mean, there's like just for the stuff that they didn't cover, I mean, there's still so much that they did that just like covers, like just the like the breadth of comics, you know what I mean? Like they weren't at all like just stuck on like superheroes and stuff. Like it was definitely, like they were, legitimately covering stuff. And it takes, I mean, now I've seen other people starting to do the same thing, trying to do, a review show or do a kind of back and forth thing, and it's like, it takes like all these different people, and we're still not Ed. He's still just.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's going to be Ed. He's absolutely irreplaceable as a comics historian. But if there are people that are trying to fill this space, we are among them.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our best. Because Dr. Ben and I both have really eclectic tastes. Believe it or not, Dr. Ben's taste goes beyond whoever the current trendy comic skater is. He is a very Dr. Ben's knowledge of comics history, and especially of like indie comics, goes far beyond what mine does. And I'm struggling to keep up and catch up. And I've been, catching up for a long time, thanks in large part to Ed and Jim and Cartoonist Kayfabe. They really helped to build my comics. Now, I've been a comics fan my entire life. I've talked to Dr. Ben about this a lot. My sort of obsession growing up was movies. So if I was doing a movie review show, I know as much or more about like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s era movies as Dr. Ben knows about those eras of comics. And I'm doing my best to catch up. And I'm glad I have Dr. Ben here. I'm glad I'm not carrying all the weight of trying to do a comics review show by myself, because I would fail in that regard. I don't think I could ever catch up to where nobody's ever going to catch up to where Ed was. Ed was a freak of nature when it comes to comics history. But Dr. Ben's got, as you'll see, as this review show progresses and we do more and more shows go live to the public, you'll see how much game Dr. Ben has. He's a real comics historian, especially in the indie comics space. And we're gonna just have like a ton of fun talking comics on here. And we've banked a bunch of shows already. Had a great time with all of them. I think they all went well. And it's going to be a pleasure to keep building this catalog. And like I was saying, I think we can make this a daily show and just crank these episodes out. And we don't get to, like, me and Dr. Ben don't get together every day and do shows. We try to get together and bank a bunch of shows all at once. and that's what we've done so far, and we're just going to keep doing that and just pace ourselves and build a bunch of shows, build a bunch of content for the channel, and at the same time, we're comics makers and creators. And Dr. Ben, you're tabling at a convention coming up.
Yeah, I gotta get my stuff together for Erie Comic Con. That's what I was looking at just before you called. I gotta figure out how my the logistics. Gotta work on the logistics. But September 20th, 21st, 22nd, Erie, Pennsylvania, down on the bayou on the waterfront. Bayfront, what is it? The Bayfront Convention Center. It's
a bigger type show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a decent sized show, and it's you know what I mean, like it's a brand new. The venue is brand new. You know what I mean? Like it's been like Erie's right on like Lake Erie, right? And like the Bayfront, it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like it's right down on the water. So it's like, the public library is like just across the way, and like there's tons of restaurants, and there's a pirate ship that sails around with authentic pirates on it.
BB says, "Dope work, thank you, sir. We try our best here to make the comics and review the comics." How many vendors would you say are going to be there? Is it like hundreds, dozens? What's the size of the show?
I don't know. I've never been there. It's got to be a pretty decent size. So I'd probably figure 100, 150 vendors and stuff to do like a 3-day show. And this is like this. I don't know how many years it's been going, but it's been going for like a while now. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like if you only had like a dozen people, you couldn't do like a 3-day show. Like it just
right.
We're still here. We're still here. You want to buy the comics? No. What about you? Want to look at his comics? You want to just talk about? Let's just hang out. No. So sometimes like comic shows are just not. They don't work. They don't
work
good.
I did a local comic show not even that long ago, dude. And the show was from 9 to 2, one day only. And I would say, and it wasn't just comics; it was comics, toys, games, retro games, whatever. And the promoter comes around at noon and goes, "Did you make any money?" And I said, "Well, no, it's only noon." And he goes, "Oh, if you don't make money by noon, you're not making any money here." And I was like, "Guess I'll go home. Guess I'll wrap it up." Like he was noon. He was wrapping it up at noon. Like,
okay, you need nothing by noon. Oh, yeah, let's get on moving there, Sonny. This is an early rise in town.
Head on down the road. Yeah, some comic shows are bigger than others. We'll just leave it at that. Are you going by yourself, or are you? Because since this is a live stream, everybody's getting this on September 7th. We've been trying to talk about this show on the shows we're banking,
right?
But a lot of those aren't going to air until after that show's over. So this is an opportunity to actually plug that show. Are you going by yourself, or do you have other cartoonists going with you?
I mean, it's just me. I mean, there'll be other cartoonists there, but like it's not like.
That's what I was asking. Are you going with anybody, or are you the sole?
No, just me. Table guy? Yeah, just me. Like I'm not sure if it even came with like 2 passes. I would think it would like come with like 2 passes for the table. That's usually how they do it, but
tell you what, you do a show. If you do a show that specifies when you buy the table, this table doesn't come with any passes, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. If the comic show tells you you have to buy separate entry, you're in, you're in trouble.
That's where they get you. That's where they get you.
My local science fiction con called Archon, R for Arc for the Arch, Archon, like
Right.
ArchCon, but Archon.
Oh, okay. Was it
And
ArchCon or is it Arch?
it's Archon for some reason.
Okay.
It's called Archon, and it's mainly it's like back in the 70s. Archon was huge, and like Harlan Ellison and Philip K. Dick and uh, George R. Martin, people like that came through St. Louis and did Archon in like the 70s and 80s. These days, it's just like elderly people dressing up like wizards, but they make you pay for a separate, like your table comes with no. Then the tables are relatively cheap. The tables are like anywhere from like 75 to like $150.
Right.
So they're not like gouging you for the table, but they do make you buy like a $75 pass for everyone that's going to be like work your table. Like, because I tend to bring like an entourage of like weirdos that hang out at the table with me and do
Right.
Song and
Right.
dance, bartering. And
Gotcha.
typically, I can get 3 or 4 people behind my table for relatively cheap. They'll charge me for 1 or 2 extra passes. And Archon was always like, my God, I end up, I'm like, oh no, this is a cheap show. I end up spending just because it's local, so I don't have to like buy hotel rooms or anything, and the travel doesn't cost a lot. By the time I'm done buying 3 or 4 passes for other people, it's like, well, I've paid as much as I would have paid for a show on the fucking road.
Right.
I've done okay. I've done okay at Archon, and it has like a really loyal return fan base. Like I screened a couple of my movies there in like 2008, and I swear to God, if I did Archon this year, people would come up to the table and be like, "You're the guy that did the movies.
I remember when you did that screen of that cock hammer.
I remember when you screened." It was actually Colonel Kill motherfuckers.
Oh, well.
It was Dead Shit and Colonel Kill motherfuckers that I screened at Archon in 2008. Hadn't made Cockhammer yet. I was Dale Keown, the Cockhammer. It was in the hopper.
Still working on it.
Waiting in the wings, still working on it.
Yeah, I think Dale's just been kind of like warming back up to like having people that are like, just this is the climate again where he can like really just create stuff, and there's like a whole like real fan base that is, you know what I mean? Because like I was thinking about this the other day, right? Like what's the big change that happened after Image started, right? Like
Sorry.
Image.
I didn't mean to bring up Dale Keown again. What was the big change?
Well, I'm drawing like Pitt, so gonna. My theory is that all the top artists leave, right? With the first wave, all the top artists leave. Second wave, all the kind of weird little guys that were starting to build up their stuff, they all left. And like it kept happening. Like every time, remember, like after Liefeld left X-Force, they put Greg Capullo on there, right?
Yeah.
He was on there for a little bit, and then they snuck him over to Spawn or whatever. Violator or just something. We got to get you out of there. And like every time they'd have like Mark, what was it? Mark Pasella. He was another one that was over on X-Force. Then Rob got him. Like Rob was doing that originally with like all the Marvel people, right? So Marvel stopped like hyping up artists. You know what I mean? Like since then, like you don't see them hype up artists. Every now and then, like that Alex Ross, he did like the giant special, Fantastic Four thing or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? They're just like they got burned so badly that they're just like, we're not gonna hype them. We'll talk about them. Oh, here's the new artists, but they're not gonna turn them into like stars again, like they did with Liefeld and all them. They're just like, no, we're not gonna create our own competition.
Right. By the way, gang, super chats are enabled. If you want to support the channel,
Yeah.
throw some dollars our way, you are more than welcome to. We will appreciate that. Shout out everything you have to say through the super chats. Any money you spend on the channel here will go towards better equipment, better cameras, better microphones. I need to set up my mic. I've got a microphone, not a very good one, but I do have a separate microphone that I can use to sound less like I'm in a tin can than I do on these camera microphones. But
it doesn't, like, what are you using for your microphone now?
Just the onboard camera.
On the phone?
On the camera.
Oh, the one that's on the camera itself. I see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. I'm not like an audio. You know what I mean? Like,
he says they need to build up Daniel Warren Johnson. He's an absolute weapon.
Yeah, his thing. What did I first see him on? That Wonder Woman, Dead Earth or something, where it was like Wonder Woman in an apocalyptic future or something, where everybody's dead or killed or something or other. But yeah, that guy could draw. He's got that same like all the gritty, grimy Ted McKeever, Mark Texeria, Sam Key, that gritty, grimy feel to all of his stuff. It's good drawer. Good drawer.
I think that one of the areas that Ed and Jim were kind of blind to, maybe on purpose, maybe just because they didn't seem to highlight like newer guys that worked at like the big two. It was almost like there, and this is just me. This is me going into business for myself. I don't know any of this to be true, but it felt like that anybody that was like modern, current, working artists working for the big two were their competition, and they didn't want to give any props to the competition. I could be totally wrong about that. That's just the feeling I got from it. And then also, and me and Dr. Ben talked a little bit about this on the phone the other night, is for some reason Ed and Jim got away from doing the fan artist mailbags and stuff, like showing off other indie artists' work. And I want to showcase that shit. I want your guys's art to be a huge part of this channel. And I want to do, at least a few times a month, I want to showcase and highlight your guys' work.
Well, I'll tell you, I know who's going to be at the ErieCon is going to be those heroin Bergs, or whatever those ladies are. They're all going to be there. I got
heroin Bergs. Who's that?
I should. Oh. There are these people that make comics, and they have a whole epic story going on with all these ladies that are all superheroes or whatever, and there's villains, and they have a whole bunch of ladies that all dress up like them too, and they film little bits and skits and stuff, and it's all on YouTube, and then it's also a comic, and then they all go to like the conventions too. So I'll share one of the things because they're fun. I watch the videos, and like that's what I'm saying. I think it'd be fun to see them in real life if they're all running around. I don't know if they're like fighting anybody or not, but probably they're probably at least like posing and trying to look like
try to get them to do a shout out to the channel on video.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. Like I'll right before the show, I'll make sure to cover their thing and be like, they're going to be there too. Wink, wink. What
BB says, you followed me on Instagram, Kevin, fucking legend. Cheers. Well, I'm happy to do it. Happy to be a part of it. I fucking hate Instagram, but happy to be there with you, buddy.
You see, that's a lot of the thing with comics for me, is that like so much of it is always been like kind of like a mystery. Like how do they even do this? Like I could never, as a kid, I couldn't understand like the big paper turns into like the little.
All I ever wanted to be, growing up, all I ever wanted to be was a cartoonist, and I had no idea how to do it. I had no idea how to get it done. I would stare at comics pages. I still do stare at comics pages like it's fucking Houdini magic. Like, how the fuck does that come out of somebody's hand? BB says, haha, yeah, Instagram is proper shit bucket. It really, I mean, I hate the culture of social media. I really do. And it's not, I don't mean that against anybody like personally. It's just the way the shit makes you act, the way the shit makes me act. I hate the way I act on social media, let alone everybody else. Just don't care for it. Prefer real life interaction to any internet bullshit.
I didn't try it, but I think I could, in theory, stream the stream that we're on to. Oh no, I wouldn't be able, because I wouldn't be able to understand it, because I'd have to go over to YouTube. Or wait. Let me just see what happens. Hold on. But I think it'd be cool to like also stream this to I was about to get the package for StreamYard, now that I've become a rich person, Oh, I think I can just.
I was looking at that too right before we went live. They want $35 motherfucking dollars a month for this shit, man. Fuck that.
Well, everyone was saying that they raised it. Like they raised like the minimum up to like 50 or something.
It's worse.
Yeah. And I can't even accept super chats if even anyone was there. So I couldn't even pay for it. But I did see that you can turn on tips on Twitter now.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine half the shit that happens anymore. So I should just like turn on the tipping thing, because like would you give someone a tip for a tweet?
No. I noped out of
that's a good tweet there.
I can't handle, like, of all of the social medias, Twitter to me, like the current Twitter model where everyone engagement farms, so everything is in the form of a question. Did you see this new picture? Thoughts? Question mark. Tell me what you see. Just there's like all these like bait fucking like tweet methods to try to like engagement farm and get people to drop comments, because the tweet creator gets paid for comment engagement. So it's insufferable. I can't stand it. Fuck some Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, bang. No, what? Why is this doing this? There. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I use it, and I talk to I talk to my other gang members, the gang members are there.
Yeah, Comicsgate, like Facebook for some reason is like garlic to a vampire for Comicsgaters. Like there's the horror convention community all on Facebook. You never see any like con promoters don't post shit on Twitter. It's all Facebook and Facebook groups. And there's a lot of there's a lot of comics, like trendy comics groups on Facebook that have like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of members. But you never see Comicsgate over there. Comicsgate is two things. Twitter, well, it's Twitter, it's three things. Twitter, YouTube, and Indiegogo. And like fuck everything else.
Yeah.
And I guess it works for him. Whatever. It's whatever Ethan tells you to do. So Ethan tells you to do those things. So I guess
that's what we got to do. That's what
you got to
sign
do.
up for. So
I don't want to, we don't want to upset the gay frog.
I myself, I hate to see him upset. Is the thing. I don't like seeing him upset, and so
Dr. Ben takes this stuff so well. I take the piss out of Comicsgate on here, and he does such a great job of just deflecting it off into jokes, just making me sound like an idiot. I love it. I love it. It's why I do it. A lot of people don't. A lot of people get like really bothered by me because I like to poke. I like to find. I am not comfortable engaging in friendship with men who can't control their emotions. And so what I do is when I'm like sussing somebody out, I poke the bear. I figure out something that I think they might be sensitive about, and I poke the bear and I see if they're gonna like be like, you know what, fuck you, man. How dare you, motherfucker. You'll be talking all this shit. That's not somebody that's gonna fucking have like that's not somebody that's gonna be able to fucking hold their shit when the shit goes down. A cool motherfucker is gonna do what Dr. Ben does and just turn it back around on me and make jokes about it. And that's good. That makes me feel comfortable. I feel comfortable when I'm like bantering with a dude and he's able to fucking take the piss right back out of me.
Well, there are like those sort of guys that can't take a joke are just they're not cool.
No, they're not. That's the thing. They're not cool guys.
They can't, and that that's not that I want Ethan needs me to defend him, but that's the thing that I've noticed with him is that like every time he does a live stream or on Twitter or wherever he's at, people are constantly calling him fat, calling him gay, calling him all these different things.
And to be fair, he is both of these things.
And he just be fair, he is. And he just
no time for Discord emperors. Actually, Dr. Ben, you're gonna make us a Discord, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got the Discord that I already had, and I would just use it to like save links to things. So I think I moved everything so there all of my creepy links to underage texting are all separate so that no one can ever get them. Like texting a young Jewish lass named Miriam.
That's where you store your Joyce Rapner
fan fiction.
You guys aren't going to get the Joyce Brapner in jokes yet. Those are in videos that haven't gone live yet. But we're like Joyce Brapner is going to be an ongoing. I think she's the channel mascot. The ghost of Joyce Brapner, I think, will end up being this channel's mascot before it's all over. I think we need to do a draw stream dedicated to Joyce Brapner ghost drawings. I think we need to get the diggers in on it. We need your Joyce Brapner fan art. The ghost, specifically the ghost of Joyce Brapner's.
This is pardon me.
All right, Dr. Ben.
I'm all right. This is
the ghost of Joyce Brapner choking you right now?
I got her comic and then I started choking. This is her comic that she did. I don't know if she did other ones, but this is Real War Stories as told to you by Mike Well, I guess it's easier to show. It's got like Mike Barr and Brian Boland. Bill Sienkiewicz did the cover. Joyce Brabner edited and wrote some of it. Dean Mullaney, I'm not sure who that is, the publisher. Catherine Yonwood. But it's this from what, 87, right? It's a, I guess you would call it like an anti-war comic. It's like stories of refugees from the Latin American and South American conflicts. Lots of comics about feelings and oppressive authorities and soldier. It's all the, not to make light of whatever their horrible situation is, but this is Nancy's story as told to Joyce Brabner. This one is about an angry father who drinks. Okay. I like him already. That part in Batman where he's like, she's like Pack-a-Day lunch lady. She's, if you watch the movie American Splendor, that is Harvey Picar's wife.
Harvey Picar's wife.
She just passed away. So this is lots. Obviously, I have not read this. Okay. Look at that.
Dr. Ben's erection is shrinking by the second at the sight of all those words.
I mean, look at how she's been dead like a few weeks now, so I feel I can critique her work without being like, she just died. She died a couple weeks ago. She's had time to rest.
I thought she died years ago.
No, she just died like a couple weeks ago.
We've been taking the piss out of this woman, and she just died.
Well, I figured it was like a tribute to her. Get her back in the story.
That's hilarious. That's terrible. What the fuck?
Well, she was like a commie douchebag. I mean, to be fair,
she was a communist.
I did
more of a communist than Eric Lawson.
She was the one that told me I need to go work on my anatomy. Have you ever taken
that's like the engine. Like we did a show that has been recorded but has not been released. If you hit the join button there below and become a member of the channel for only $3 a month, you get access to all those videos that haven't aired yet. So definitely consider becoming a channel member. So you kind of, when we do these live streams, you're in on all these fucking in jokes that we've done from videos that won't air for weeks, sometimes months before you guys get to see them. But we were doing an episode, and Dr. Ben, we were doing an American Splendor episode, and Dr. Ben shared the anecdote that Joyce Brabner rejected his rejected his offer to attend the Republican National Convention with Joyce and some other cartoonists, and told him, maybe you need to work on your anatomy.
You need to. We're looking for people that are just going to echo our statement about Trump using dog whistles. That is the message we're spreading. That's the only one. Oh, God. Okay. John Tolden contributed to this, who is a local to Erie, Pennsylvania. But yeah, this is Battlefields of 1986, U.S. troops and world battlefields. The number of U.S. troops stationed abroad. And it has all these countries listed. I guess their point is to say that this is a bad thing, not that, look, if it weren't for us, imagine how bad it'd be. I don't think that's what they're saying. Their resource page want to do something about it. Check out the articles.
Don't give away the farm there, Dr. Ben. We're gonna do a whole episode on this.
Well, so that's what I'm saying is you'll be able to get all these communist organizations that you could join. We'll give you all the
info.
Yeah, I'll make a proper scan
after you join the channel. After you become a member of the channel here, then you can join the commie organizations. Joyce Brabner's pet commie organization.
Underground Comic Resistance. The true head of Comicsgate, Joyce Brabner. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's it'll be fun. I think it's a fun. I never got to meet Harvey either. So
I didn't meet him, but I did a show last year or the year prior with Toby, the nerd.
Oh yeah,
the nerd dude from American Splendor.
Real authentic, 100%.
BB says you can read Joyce Brabner comics in the bread line. Yeah, that's where we'll be reading. We'll be using them for fucking fire kindling.
Yeah, I'll have to find my my emails from her, because like that's what I'm saying. It was like they were, and they were. This was after she asked if people could stay at my house. Like I was asked, she's like telling people, if you want to join us, come down. Everyone's welcome. We're gonna be at the RNC, blah blah blah. We're gonna be outside. We're not gonna be able to get inside, so we're just gonna be outside. But we're gonna be a bunch of cartoonists. We're gonna be there making comic, and I'm just like, okay, that sounds stupid, but I'll go there too. And I'll also make the comics I make, where I make fun of. By then, I was just starting to make fun of like Obama and stuff, and Bernie, because Bernie had been a.
I'd like to ask for your support once again. I'd like to ask for you to join the channel as a member, so you can get videos before the general public. Here, I finished a page. This page is done. You right? Damn, I got to do. Damn Hogan. Damn Hogan. No, I gotta get. It's Nixon. Hogan. Listen, Hogan. Man, Hogan. You right. Damn, bitch. Why don't you top me off with a little headpiece right here in my living room before we go to this jack-off party, so as I can get a little bit of this come out. I don't want to be embarrassing anybody on account of my gigantic loads. I'm a modest dude. I don't need to be the focus of the party. Chick's got, I'd love to. We'd all love to. But Big D's party is about to start. We got to get back there with the weed and you guys' dicks before the rest of the meat beaters show up. Yeah, I promise we'll totally suck you later. We'll drain your blood dry. And look at his face. Look at Nixon's face. He goes, well, that's an odd way to describe a blowjob. But yeah, sure. Let me grab this smoke weed real quick. We better give Fat Funk here a head start, or his slow ass won't ever make it to that party in time. So that's the vampire chicks are trying to seduce Nixon and Hogan into coming to Dracula's meat beater party. They're all going to jack off.
Oh, of course. Well, excellent.
The only way you're going to get Nixon and Hogan out of the house is tell them that there's a big jack off party going on down the street.
That's the like catnip to them, huh?
other dudes' dicks.
Where's that? Cats get like immune to the catnip after a while, though.
Dudes get immune to fucking other guys' dicks after a while too. All right.
Actually, I gotta go get another beverage. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm looking very forward to banking some more shows. We had a lot of fun the last time we got together. We did like 4 or 5 shows. We got a bunch of Cerebus shows covered, some more Ninja Turtles stuff covered. And so much more cool stuff to go. Like I've been digging through all my stuff and just finding every day I've got new ideas for more shows to do, and ton of work done on my. I'll show you guys where I'm at so far on Count Kefula. Like I said, almost done with it. It's like a 26, 27 page book, and it's pretty gnarly. Dracula blows into town here. He's a bunch of bats, and then he congeals into a fucking monster that eventually becomes Dracula himself, Count Kefula.
Count Kefula.
And I kind of gave him, I wanted to give him kind of a unique look, something different from what Dracula usually appears as in popular media. I kind of gave him that, what is that manga and anime?
One with the pirates?
Devil Man. Devil Man kind of has these bat wings that come off his head. And I wanted to give Count Kefula kind of a similar, kind of a look like that. So he kind of blends kind of that Western and Eastern styles together. And so he kind of looks a little bit like Devil Man, a little bit like I kind of wanted him to look like a sleazy 70s swinger. So he's got like this cape, his part of his neck is like exposed. The cowl doesn't go all the way up to his neck, so he's got this like fluffy like dress, this dress blouse that he has.
I think if you had a page with him where it was like labeling, you know how like sometimes they would have that in like an old like Mad and Cracked and stuff, like they'd have like the character and then they'd label like all the little details on them. You know, it'd be like this is from this rip is from this ring is, you know what I mean, like it would point out all the little Easter eggs and jokes and stuff. I could see something like that with like those.
Got some golden cufflinks there. His tie is like this weird snake, living creature. It's pretty cool. I think he's pretty unique looking for, I think the character design on him is pretty, as I say all the time here on the channel, like if you blacked all this out and just made it a silhouette, you would know this is Count Kefula. Like his design is unique enough in that respect.
Right.
And he's like mind controlling the bitches because they try to cancel him here in the at the beginning. They're like, oh my god, this fucking dude is totally creeping on us in public. He's feral. I'm like traumatized. Let's find his socials and cancel him. Toot sweet. Kiss your ass goodbye, weirdo. And then he fucking mind controls them and just immediately fucking turns them into sex slaves.
Nice.
They take over this big mansion,
right,
and kill the inhabitants. Kefula takes over. Can't really show you that panel. There's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of nudity for run in for a few panels. Let me skip past all this. A lot of
past all the let's go with that part too. Oh geez, oh boy.
And then we get to Nixon and Hogan's house here, and they're playing video games, of course, and that's when the girls show up, and that's about as far in as we're at. And, the girls all convince Nixon and Hogan to go back to Count Kefula's mansion pad to jack off with everybody. So we're almost done. 21 pages out of 28. So just about there.
Nice.
and that's hitting, of course, on my Patreon on October 1st. There's a link in the description to my Patreon. $2.99 a month gets you access to Count Kefula, to Too Many Dabs issues 1 and 2, to Wizard of Ganj issue 1, and all my other work. There's also a link there to Dr. Ben's YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
All links.
Put in a link to Joyce Brabner's.
There's a link to Joyce Brabner's. What do they call it? Eulogy.
Her obituary.
Yeah, her obituary. Joyce Brabner's obituary is posted at Dr. Ben's Substack. I had a pee. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'll show you guys. This is. I've just been kind of eyeballing this picture of Pitt there. Kill or be killed. Pitt is so badass. Well, I guess his hair is going the other way on here, though, isn't it? I guess it doesn't matter if I draw it this way. I guess that's probably just because I'm dyslexic or whatever that is. But yeah, that's all I'm drawing. Just I didn't get his feet though. I made it too big. Look, not enough room to get his feet in there. Oh well. I think I'm gonna do this lettering on there though.
Oh, I told you I found this. I was driving myself crazy.
Oh,
We've already banked a few Sam Keith episodes, and we'll just keep doing Sam Keith episodes as long as we have a channel. I think because he's my favorite artist. But I was telling Dr. Ben that I had these Aliens Earth War comics, which is Sam Keith on the interiors of the official Aliens adaptation comic, and I couldn't find him, and I was like, when you go digging, look for Alien Earth War, because that's all Sam Keith in doing a direct sequel to Aliens with Newt and Ripley as the main characters of this, written by Mark Bierheiden.
Oh, from the Aliens thing,
and then Monica Livingston on colors. And Sam Keith does the pencils and inks on all this. We're going to do a whole episode on the Alien Earth War books, but I just wanted to show Dr. Ben here real quick some of this wild stuff. It kind of looks like he gets, and I don't want to fucking jump the shark and talk too much about this when we're going to do a whole episode on it, but it's almost grimier. It's almost more noodled than even his Max stuff. Like it looks like he really this to me looks more like early Sandman.
Yeah, I could see that.
Sandman work more than and he doesn't exactly do the best Ripley. Maybe they told him don't make it look like.
Oh, that's definitely her licking her little panties and tank top.
But facially, I guess they said don't
get too close of a likeness because
too close because they won't have to pay her.
Might have some fees, right?
But during Monster Month, we're going to do a lot of Alien, Predator, Terminator. But one of the big questions I have, and we won't get answers to it.
Like
one of the big
BB's comment at the end from the chat.
Yeah, I read it.
You
can read Joyce's comics in the breath fine.
The one after that, he says, "Ha ha, your shit sucked. Rest in peace."
Oh, that's up there. That's up there.
Your shit sucked ass. Rest in peace. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get a couple days, couple weeks, and then back to the chopping block,
One of the questions that I'm going to be asking a lot during Monster Month when we cover these 20th Century Fox properties, like the official adaptations, is why didn't they make an Alien Earth War movie? Why didn't they make fucking Alien Genocide? Why didn't they do Terminator, Deadly or Terminator Hunter Killers? Why didn't they do Predator Big Game? And they had all these like talented writers and artists that created these like hit comics from the 90s, and they've never adapted any of these into films. Like the Alien movies, the Predators, the Terminators, they get worse and worse and worse as we get out there. And the same thing with Star Wars. I have a fuck ton of Star Wars comics that if they were adapted into movies, they were hit comics at the time.
Right.
With unique characters that were, only comic characters, or sometimes the comics were adaptations of the novels. But there are characters that have never, like Mara Jade, that have never appeared in any Star Wars property other than the comics and novels. And it's like, are they really afraid of giving some royalties to Sam Keith or Mark Bierheiden for?
I think it's more like a superiority thing with Hollywood.
Those are comic books. We're Hollywood. Look at that.
Yeah, your comics that could be the next movie, huh? Yeah, I you know what? I don't tell you how to make your little funny books. So don't tell me how to make movies.
We don't tell you how to draw the cartoons.
It's a little bit different, a little bit more complicated
you
than your
stick
little
to the funny pages, okay, there, darling.
Yeah.
And yet these are proven hits. Like these are cult favorites. And if you adapted because Hollywood, they ain't exactly batting 1,000 these days. You know what I mean? They're whiffing and losing billions and billions. It's like maybe they need to eat a little humble pie there, Hollywood, and come to these comic book and novelizations.
It's like that. I know that Vox Day fella's controversial. Maybe he's probably said something. I don't know, but the two law rules I heard from him about the
look at this Sam Keith. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, the two rules I heard is that, and it's whatever you want to call them, right? At the time it was SJWs. Now it would be
wokies or blue hairs or whatever.
Something, whatever they are. They always lie and they always double down. Like they always lie. That's always going to be, and they're always going to double. When they're exposed, they're always going to double down. Like if you're wondering, like, I don't know, are they saying what's really happened, or are they lying? Are they exaggerating? Are they making something up? They're making it up. Are they going to admit now that they have they've been proven wrong? Here's evidence. Here's proof that what they said was completely off base. And, are they going to admit, that they were wrong? Eat a little bit of that humble pie? Are they going to say, all right, yeah, you know what? You're wrong. We got a little crazy with the stuff. Okay, let's just no. They're going to double down because they can't be wrong. They're not, you know what I mean? Like they're just gonna stick to it. I mean, I could hope they would not be that, they would, like, people would learn from their mistakes and figure, but I wouldn't put any money on that.
I own that book, but I can't find it. I went over to my bookshelf to try to find SJWs Always Lie, but
it's that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've never read it, and those are the only things I know. He said
good.
that.
Box is really dry, and it was very early in the culture war.
Right.
So, he was giving like overwritten examples that today people would look at and be like, yeah, we know, get to the point. But at the time, you still had to point out that, like, Nobel Prize winning professors were being canceled for telling a fucking joke about his female coworker at an award ceremony. Just crazy shit, like an era of just insanity when it came to cancel culture.
Yeah, and it's I love it because it's all they're just going crazy, eating each other. Like
Now, yeah. So you're saying that the culture of Hollywood won't allow itself to admit that it's wrong and that it needs to go to these like better adaptations, these proven successful adaptations. They can't they wouldn't dare lower themselves to that kind of shit. They'll just double down and make even worse movies.
Yeah, not only
then blame the fans.
Not only if they were to do that, would that mean okay, well now, you know, they're wrong. Now they admitted it. You know, not only that, not only the shame of that, but now this puts into question everything that they've done before them. So like all the stuff they've done, all the things they've built up all this time. Well, wait a second. Actually, it turns out this guy's been full of shit the whole time. Oh no, maybe I got to go back to be. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not just that like they can't accept that like they did a shitty movie, right? It's not that they just can't accept that like, oh, you know what? People don't want like this amount of political, you know, nonsense shoved into every single thing. Like, they can't if they accept that, then it's like if they accept that they're wrong, you know, like they think it's like that's what people want or that's what people need in their entertainment is to have all these morals and ideologies and new
it's definitely a luxury. It comes from a luxury, you know, like we have to tell people, we have to tell the culture what it needs, not, you know.
Didn't you know that you're doing it wrong? You're wrong because it turns out you're a sexist. You're a racist. You're an anti-Semite. That's what that. And like now, they were saying that I was watching on Jimmy Dore, right? I like him. Like I don't agree with all of his stuff, but he's a funny guy. He's a good comedian. And they were saying like it was like in New York University, they had expanded their definition of protected classes to include Zionists. If you you point out someone's a Zionist as like a like if the same way if you point out somebody's anything in some sort of negative way, like hey he's a Polak or he's a Mexican or whatever, like then you're in trouble. So the same thing, if you point out hey he's a Zionist, same thing, going to jail. You're getting a hate police. That's what they're doing at New York University coming up in this next just starting.
Well, they're trying to push back against all the Palestinian protesters.
Right, which they had that like
the best way to do that would be to stop bombing Palestine. But I don't like any don't get it twisted. I'm no fucking apologist for any of the Middle Eastern douchebags. I wish they would blow each other off the map. I wish Palestine and Israel would nuke each other and just turn that whole region into glass and be fucking done with them.
Wow. Well, so just so they were just before that though. They were trying to have that be a law here too, like across like a regular law, like to include Zionist stuff for like hate speech laws and whatnot. Like they're trying to have it like expanded for whatever they're, wherever that's a definition. They were trying to have that be like a regular, like, because what, like the hate speech stuff, that's like federal laws, I think. Like you could get like you could be fine.
Yeah.
You could have like a hate
it's
speech
like-
charge as like from the federal government that would supersede something from like the state government, like the state government. But I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. It's like they were trying to do the same thing like just a couple months ago, and it didn't. I think it didn't pass. But yeah, once you start turning their ideas against them, oh, okay. Well, everyone's these minority. You can't say anything against a protected minority class. Okay, well then that's definitely what I am because I'm whatever it is.
All they're going to do is cause more chaos on campus trying to do that shit.
Oh yeah.
The worst, like you can't expel, like you're trying to expel the kids of your like biggest donors. And it's funny, and it's like you said, they're all eating themselves, and it's great to see. What they're going to end up doing is putting themselves out of like the universities are going to end up having to close because all their donors are going to pull out because their kids are getting expelled because their kids are psychotic, Palestine supporters that are calling out the Zionists and Jews around every corner. Which coincidence, not a coincidence, make up the administration and faculty of these major universities.
Yeah, they actually decided that maybe that wasn't a good idea to try and rile up all those guys. Actually, they were like, you saw that was the big debate with the DNC too. Was that the DNC wouldn't let any of the Palestinian representatives onto the stage.
Right.
We'll see if they let a Palestinian onto the stage maybe tomorrow. Maybe today they'll let it. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Listen, Dr. Ben, let's land this plane. I'm tired as fuck. I've been going since, me, I throw around kettlebells at 7 o'clock in the morning. And by the time we get here.
I saw you the other day. I woke up and I was like, I'm just waking up trying to find coffee. And I'm like, I look on and you were on here drawing. And I'm like,
drawing away.
What the fuck? I mean, he's an hour earlier than I. What the hell's going on?
It's an hour earlier than me. He's up fucking doodling away. Let's
let me
we're gonna get together next week and bank a bunch more shows, right? Monday or Tuesday. I want to bank a bunch more shows, but I don't know. Like, I think what we can do. I think I'm willing to be brave, and I want to start trying to fill in the rest of September. I think I want to try to build September into a daily channel. So I don't want to start working on Monster Month stuff yet. I want to do some more September stuff.
Right on.
So let's figure out some books that you want to do. That'll just be, they don't have to have a theme. I think we're going to start our themes with next month. We'll do like a Rob Liefeld week, and we'll do like an Outlaw Comics week, and we'll do like a banned books week. We'll start doing like themed weeks. But September is just kind of a free for all. Just grab stuff you like. September is just the stuff you like month.
Get that banned Dearth book.
Oh yeah, I've got it right here. Hold on. I got it right here.
You gotta you'll have to do something for me after we're off the air.
Quick. I'm about to go to bed.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll
here's the Durf book.
I'll go get the let me know when you want week you want to do him, because I'll go get Kent State from the local library.
Okay.
That's the next book he did after this. Or no, I think the next book he did was Trashed, which is about his days as a garbage trash man thrower. Okay. He threw trash into the garbage trunk and drove around. I'm just like, no, not reading 200 pages about. I can't do it, guys. Sorry, but I've got some of his stuff, so I'll grab what I got, and then I'll get the stuff in the library, whatever week you want to do that, and then I got some cool stuff coming. I've got what is that? Panorama Hell, the manga by Hino Hidoshi or Hidoshi Hino. Can't remember which one is this the first name. But some cool looking manga stuff I like. And I'll have like in a couple of days here, I'll have like the ash can for lettuce. Yeah.
We'll do a manga week or a manga month. I don't think I have enough to do a month. Well, actually, I have the entire run of Chainsaw Man. It's 11 months. That's 11 days right there.
I think it's past 11 volumes, isn't it?
Yeah, but that was the first arc. I stopped after the first arc.
Yeah, I didn't realize, like, I covered the first one, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I wonder if they're able to make, like, an anime of it. And I don't know. And then, like, of course, I'm like, oh, of course, they already have, like, it's like 20 more volumes and anime seasons. And I'm just like, oh, I'm just an old person. Okay. I just don't know. Nice. Excellent.
BB says, fuck yes, this is going to be my new favorite channel. I need more comics art inspiration. Well, thank you, dude. Oh, he said, he also said, just played nuclear ping pong and call it quits. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fuck those people. They offer nothing to this fucking.
Well, it's, it's without judging anything of them, it's funny just that, like, that's what the leftists all went from. That was the big thing, like a month ago or whatever, 2 months ago. And then, like, all of a sudden, everything's something else. Oh, well, now everybody's just pro Kamala. We just love Kamala. She's the best. She's so smart. She's the best.
Dude,
I don't know. That's great. But yeah, we'll work on that. Kamala, we got to get, and it's like, wait, what? What about all that stuff you were worried about? That's all.
I told you when we started, we'll end it on this. I was driving around tonight, beautiful weather, dodging crackheads and tweakers, homeless people. And I was just thinking to myself, such a beautiful day. I feel so good. I'm so excited about my new comic, Dracula in Strangeville, and the channel and this comics haul I just bought, and this big haul Dr. Ben just got. And I just thought, I hope Kamala wins. I hope she wins because I've kind of like mentally, I've kind of checked out of the culture completely, and I just feel like we're documenting the fall of Western civilization, and just like speed it up, bring on the breadlines, bring on the price fixing.
Bring on the price fixing. Bring on
all the silliness, and like today's news. I don't know if you were following what's going on, like literally right now, but we're setting up for that. They started running the gun grab script again today, and they're pushing it hard. They got this kid, mass shooter, white kid, bought an AR the day. Of course, it's an AR. Of course, he's white. And of course, he bought it the day he went on the shooting spree. That's all they need to gun grab. And that's going to get fed into the political cycle, and that's going to go right on Kamala's checklist. Like, and we're going to take all your guns. Hell yes, we're going to take. Who said that? Pete Buttigieg. Hell yes, we're going to take all your guns. Bring it on. Bring it all on. I want to see it burn. I want it to burn down in my. How special would it be, Dr. Ben, if the United States of America fell in our lifetime? What a gift! What a gift that is to us.
I mean,
we are documenting the fall of Western civilization one day at a time through the medium of comic books, sir.
In the meantime, I'll be at Erie Comic Con. And I have these beautiful sketch covers. House of Secrets 92, the first Swamp Thing. Ghostbusters number 10. Hulk by Donnie Cates, #1. Donnie Cates and
Yeah, I've got a bunch of Donnie
Ryan
Cates.
Otley. Remembered it. Son of a gun.
I've got
and this Penguins one too, but you know, the cool
I've got
ones.
some Donnie Cates stuff right here, as a matter of fact. Donnie Cates Venom.
Wait, have you not heard the Donnie Cates phone call?
No. Thanos wins. Have you read this one? This one's awesome. Thanos goes back in time and fights himself over the affections of death. Killer art. And then what about Baby Thanos Must Die? Have you read Donnie Cates's Baby Thanos Must Die?
No.
Dude, this is killer. Thanos becomes the Punisher. Are you familiar with Cosmic Ghost Rider?
The only Cosmic Ghost Rider I knew of was from the Jim Valentino Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I know there's a new one, but I haven't seen it.
This says Frank Castle was a decorated Marine and an upstanding citizen when his family was killed in a mob hit. From that day, he was a force of retribution until he died, and then returned as the Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, and then became Galactus's herald, and then came to be the black right hand of Thanos, and then he died for real. That's Cosmic Ghost Rider. That's Frank Castle as Ghost Rider as fucking Silver Surfer, basically the herald of fucking Galactus. And he fights Thanos. He goes back in time to when Thanos was a baby. The Watcher sends him back in time to when Thanos is a baby, and it's nuts. It's a crazy book. That's Donnie Cates. Now, what is this about Donnie Cates? Donnie Cates' phone message?
I'm gonna have to find it.
Is it from you? For you?
No, it was on Ethan's thing where he had he called him while he was like streaming, and he's like, "Look, I can't talk," and he's like, "I try, I've got to find it because it is pretty."
Well, hold off on that, and we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do a Donnie Cates.
Like I'm gonna have to search for it.
It's kind of hard to do, writers because they don't make the books. But I mean, books like this, like we can do Thanos Wins and Baby Thanos Must Die, and I have some like Venoms and Carnages written by Donnie Cates also, so we can do a whole episode of the stuff he writes. I think he's the best modern comics writer. He's also Eric Larson level spaz on social media.
That's what I would imagine. I also got Mary Wept Over the Feet of Jesus. I kind of felt like we needed some sort of Christianity to fight back against the Satanism of Donnie Cates.
Oh, is he a Satanist?
I believe so. No. Prostitution and Religious Obedience in the Bible by Chester Brown, a graphic novel containing adaptations of certain biblical stories. I got this, I like Chester Brown anyways, but this, I really like the format of this. It's it's not quite like a manga size. It's kind of shorter or not as wide as a, you know what I'm saying? Think of, that's a manga. See what I'm saying? It's not as wide and it's a little, just a hair tall. It's just it's an odd size, but it fits really good. I suppose if you have different size hands than mine, it might not fit the same.
You have
but
massive meat hooks over there.
Right. And if it's got, this is the other thing, is he's got tons of notes in the back, similar to From Hell or whatnot. That's what I told you too. Did I say that when we were on the air that I got I ordered the the script or whatever for From Hell, but it's not the complete script. It's like it was going to be like a few volume set, but they only ever released one volume back 1994 or 5. But I found it for a nice price, so I had to pull the trigger. Had to do it, you know.
We'll take a look at those for sure.
Yeah.
I think this Saturday night show is going to be kind of like our decompression show where we talk about all the shows we've done for the week.
It's like fucking halfway through September.
Yeah.
I've got to get like my shit for the Jack the Ripper magazine done too. I've got to get that shit to them yesterday. It's supposed to be like middle of September. I need to like
get it done. Why were you drawing Pitt? Should have been drawing your Jack the Ripper stuff.
Why are you drawing Pitt? I don't know. It's well, becoming rich is, you know, like it's takes a couple of days to reacclimate yourself. Now that I'm
decadent. You get decadent when you get rich. All right, we're gonna get out of here. I'm exhausted. It's late in the day for me. It's my bedtime. Definitely sign up and become a channel member so you can get access to the videos weeks or potentially months in advance.
Years.
They go to years in advance from when they go public in some cases. And remember, you can always join my Patreon and get these fantastic books like Too Many Dabs, The Wizard of Ganj, or my newest upcoming book, Count Kefila. Oh, no, I didn't do that. Count Kefila, a.k.a. Dracula in Strangeville, coming October 1st to the Patreon. Link in the description. You can sign up to the Patreon for only $2.99 a month, and you get access to all my comics, all my novels, all my movies. You can also follow Dr. Ben. He's going to be at the Erie Comic-Con.
I'll be there September 20th, 21st, 22nd. I'll have ash cans, which are these little mini comics I print out myself. Nice thick comic, nice thick paper, sturdy, not flimsy like some other mini comic makers. You know, it's like nice thick comics here. That's what I make. I'll have the new ash can available there. You can get a preview of it if you subscribe to the Substack, drben.substack, and you know, that's where I put all the stuff. Go over there, get my comics. I got that. You can get Jam Space, the Space Jam sequel comic I made with LeBron James. That's on there for free. You can download that, and I think I put a link on there to download the. I'll have to check. I'll wait to confirm that before I say so. But go over to the Substack, get all my stuff, and
all the Joyce Brabner fan fiction.
Yes,
your mind can handle.
I showed you the picture of her, didn't I? That's Joyce Brabner. She was a goose.
There she is. With that, gang, we're gonna get out of here, and I hope we see you at the dollar bin. Keep on digging, diggers.
That's right. Keep on digging.
See you on Monday morning, 9 a.m. for the next comics review video. See you then.